嘿，大家好，我是怎么 Jones。今天要跟各位聊的是 Mind Game 最新一集。在昨天上线的集数里 ，Mind Game 终于找来 Austin Reeves 作为嘉宾，从球风、故事再到一些比赛画面都有谈到，我们就一起赶快来看看吧。
记得订阅、按赞、加入黑组王。
记得订阅，怎么唱？
在 Podcast 最一开始才刚刚欢迎完来宾，老詹就迫不及待地进入正题，直接问到关于当初自愿变成落选秀的故事。
I think we should get right to it. Detroit backstory. Don't draft me. Give us the content. Give us the whole story. I'm gonna get right on to it, man.
Yeah. So my agents, Reggie back there, they set up a plan, and the plan was, we knew LA had a two-way open on draft night, and knew it was a situation to where I could possibly step in, get a contract, because I don't know how many guys were actually under contract at that time. There was a lot of free agents, a lot of signings to be done, and we knew that going in. They called it 42, and they came up to me, and it's every kid's dream of hearing their name called on draft night, and I'm no different. But it came down to sticking to a plan, and that's what we did. And it sucked to not hear my name called, but obviously putting ourselves in a good position was much more important.
接着 AR 也继续说到，当时团队其实有把所有球队做一个分级，其中公鹿、湖人和另外一支球队以适性上来说是首选。同时，当年湖人因为有正式合约的人并不多 ，AR 认为自己的球商以及对于比赛的理解是有机会争取到大名单中第13或是第14人的位置。接着换老詹来这边来分享自己看到 AR 打球的第一印象。
The first thing I noticed, it's kind of funny. We always talk about this. He didn't play like a white boy. It was very different. His wiggle was very different. I mean, I grew up in Northeast Ohio, so I know white guys playing like white guys and white guys playing like the brothers.
Right.
And what I could see in his game is that he had a lot of wiggle to his game. And that was one of the things that, quite frankly, we were missing. We didn't have.
Yeah.
I thought that his game would translate to us, his ability to crack the seams and his ability to get into the paint, and him playing, even though their team wasn't as good at Oklahoma, his game kind of it showed a pro, and that's what I saw early on.
接着 AR 这边也提到自己一开始被当时的战美组合组认可的过程。
No, it always goes back to when he had his mini camp in I think it was Vegas that year.
Before your rookie.
This was before I was under contract, and it was crazy because I think it was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We came back Sunday, and it was like Wednesday, and I didn't even know if I was going yet. And one of my friends back home was getting married that weekend too, so I was about to buy a flight to go back home. Got the invite. Obviously told my friend like, hey, I can't say
There's
no.
There's levels to this shit.
Yeah. So we get in the gym, and I think we got to playing like 3-on-3 or something. Got a couple buckets, and then drove downhill, ate, and I thought I had a layup, and then AD come out of nowhere, and I was like, oh fuck. And late second, kind of like behind the back pass to him, he come down the lane, dunked it, and then it was just from then on out, like they were like, you're good, like just be yourself. Him and AD, then I've given them, all the credit I can give them, just to, from day one of being like, hey, you don't have to be you, like on the court, off the court, whatever it is, just be you.
It's powerful, right?
No, for sure, especially coming from real players.
如果各位还有印象的话，那一年的湖人阵容其实是被戏称为养老院的，球队8到9名的主力都超过了33岁，但这时对于当时初来乍到的 AR 却成了关键的养分。
Relax
for
and play.
sure. I mean, like you said, you're not the most explosive person in the world. Very jealous of people like that. But it's just, I feel like this whole game is a lot of confidence and IQ. When you know the game and you have high confidence, I feel like you can do a lot of things. And that it wasn't just him and AD. We had Melo, Russ, Rondo. Like I leaned on Rondo a lot. My rookie
That's
year.
a hell of a veteran.
Yeah, so I had probably the best people that you could talk to possible, and I'm a question asker. I remember I told Rondo, I was like, yo, if I ask you too many questions, you can tell me to shut the hell up. I don't care.
He loves questions.
Yeah, so every time we would be in practice, there's something would happen, and I would go over to him, or I'd always be standing by him and just be like, what did you see here? What did you see there? But yeah, just the confidence that they had in me, the whole group from day one, just like you said, catapulted me to continue to be better.
再来 AR 也谈到比自己大2岁的哥哥，8年前在西班牙开始打球，当时几乎没有人认识，后来一路打上了德国的顶级联赛，而且至今还会持续给予 AR 许多建议。
He watches every game, and I'm probably not the easiest to talk to sometimes, but if I'm going through a rough shooting stretch, which he can shoot the ball better than 99% of the people I've ever met, so he does know, and he probably knows me better than I know myself. So he'll text me and be like, move it over the right a little bit or shoot a little higher, just little things like that.
That's cool.
That's so far.
Yeah. So I remember I was talking to one of our assistant coaches last year, and I think I was like 2 for my last 27 from 3 going through it. And I was like, before the game, I was talking to Bo. I was like, don't worry tonight, we're good. My brother fixed me. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, he told me everything I needed to do. I think I went like 6 for 8 from 3. He was like, tell your brother to keep texting me.
That's amazing. I mean, he's got a place to land after
for sure.
He's smart.
听完这段，我的第一个想法是 AR 近期应该要再多跟哥哥传讯息了。当然，近期比较偏向是体力消耗过量的问题，也希望 AR 无论如何能够赶快调整回来。接着 AR 也说到自己一直以来都有近乎妄想的自信，9岁的时候被问到想要做什么，就说自己要打进 NBA。
Like, where do you think that delusional confidence come from?
Yeah, I'd like to hear more about that. And also, like, how did it then manifest? Like,
I really don't know because
we've seen a lot of delusional
for sure
people that it actually didn't go the way they thought it should go.
Yeah, but there's like a delusional confidence, but also like I still like maintain like real life. Like I don't go outside
attached to reality.
Yeah. I still have some.
I
reality.
gotta work.
Exactly. I don't know though, because like growing up, like I said, it didn't matter what it was. Like I never beat my brother in anything. He would beat me as bad as he possibly could one-on-one. Then we'd go home, we'd play cards, we'd play video games, like we'd play. And my parents were the same way. They didn't let me win anything. It was no like poor Austin, let him win one. Like I never won anything. So like I learned to hate losing more than I love to win. Right. So like it was like do whatever you can to get a dub. To get a dub. Because I remember the first time I beat him in one-on-one, I took off running, I ran in the house. I was probably like 12 or so, and he let me shoot wide open shots. He was like, you can't make enough shots to beat me. And I got hot, and I ran in the house. He was so pissed. I was screaming. My mom was like, what's going on? But yeah, I really don't know where it came from. It's just there.
在和老詹举办的训练营以及得到第一份合约之后 Nash 问 AR 是什么时候感受到自己真的能够在 NBA 立足了。
No, I mean the Vegas thing was the first step was like, but then again, like it is the middle of the summer. We was playing 3-on-3, so it's different. But then opening night we played Golden State. Got literally my first ever like any level, anything DMP. Didn't play.
First time
ever. And I was like, what the hell? Like I didn't.
So you went in the game like I'm gonna play.
I thought that I should have. Yeah. But
from camp, preseason, you're like I'm gonna
play. But
like
I understood why. But then game 2 we played Phoenix and we were getting beat by like 30 going into the 4th, and Frank was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And out the gate we made a run, and after that it was kind of just
put you in the rotation.
Yeah. So I mean there was a little stint towards the end of the year where I wasn't playing great, got a couple more DMPs, but basically from there on out was in rotation.
AR 也说到，那个时候有人问老詹 AR 该不该去打夏季联赛，结果老詹是说不需要，整个夏天待在体育馆训练就行。老詹也说，夏季联赛对于整个联盟固然是件必要的事，但并不适合每一个人。在当时，他的确认为 AR 不该浪费时间在那上面。接着 AR 说到自己在球场上角色的改变。
Tell me about the playmaking. Were you in high school? Were you a playmaker as well, or were you more of a scorer?
No, playing alongside my brother my freshman year and sophomore year, he took the majority of shots. So my job
You had
was
to get him the ball.
Yeah, my job. We
Get him the ball. Get out the way.
That year we actually played like an actual white team. We ran set after set.
Yeah.
We would get him threes after threes after threes.
An actual white team.
Yeah, and then he left, and we just started running. Like we was like, we're gonna press and run.
That's cool.
But yeah, no, it was. I always wanted to be a point guard.
Yeah. Did you ever play point, like in any of those stages, like your freshman year, were you point for your brother? Or was it just more like,
I was basically point guard from when I started playing basketball till I went to college, and then going to college, you run into guys that are 3 or 4 years older than you, more physically gifted and better players at the time, and I never had a problem with buying into a role to help the team be successful.
AR 也说，在大一时自己只有11分钟的上场时间，大二虽然机会变多且相对能够做自己，但主要都还是在辅助球队。这些经历对于他在进入 NBA 的一开始也有很大的帮助，更甚至现在待在满分连线身边也是如此，能够很好的找到自己能协助球队赢球的角色。接着三人开始进入到场上的话题。
things that you are either the best at in the league at, or use the best as a behind the back dribble?
Yeah, I've heard some people's given me credit on that.
Yeah, his rap game is crazy.
Yeah.
The step rap, you just fuck somebody up.
But is that you done that all since you were a kid?
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Because I think you use it to attack, you also use it to reset.
Yeah.
So you get stuck, they catch your first move. Sometimes it's a wrap to win, to get downhill. Sometimes it's a wrap to reset.
Yeah.
And then you can hang. When you hang dribble, they got to close and you do your thing again.
Else. Yeah.
And so I don't know that do you think anyone in the league uses it as well?
Well, this is definitely not a conversation for me. Okay. You two, when they come.
He didn't need to.
Yeah, right.
老詹也说自己脑中其实没有一个人选，联盟中很多人都会使用，但大多数人都在双脚踩定之后才这样做，而 AR 却可以在近乎全速的时候接上背后运球，然后继续攻框，这也是 AR 在背后运球的不同之处。接着 AR 谈到这个技能是如何开发出来的。
I remember Phil Handy, it was either my first or second year. We worked on a lot of the stuff, obviously, but he kept telling me, he was like, you're one of the few people in the NBA that can actually change directions on one foot. Like you can have one foot out in front of the other and either behind the back or cross or any. And he told me that's what he worked with Kyrie a lot with, because he can do everything. But just the ability to change direction with not a perfect, base.
而 Nash 也称赞 AR 在切入和游击区终结的造诣，从中距离、抛投、上篮，再到制造犯规，甚至是组织串联，全部都精通。
I think it's a great lesson for young players to understand. Like you don't have to be like, I'm an elite finisher. You have to be able to I have options.
Yeah.
I can play cat and mouse. I hit the pocket pass, and then later they don't want to give up the pocket pass. You attack. It might be a floater, it might be a layup, it might be a dribble under. The guy early comes from the corner. Playing cat and mouse, getting guys to know there's 3 or 4 options, so you make the decision for me in a way.
And that person's going to be the one the defenders are going to be the one to tell you what to do, really.
Right.
Like it's not.
You just think attack.
Exactly.
They'll tell you.
If he goes there, then you got the skip. If the lob's open, then that is. And then if he don't want the lob, you lay up, float, or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's really kind of how I see it. Is like, okay, you don't want to foul me, and then I'm gonna let the defensive whatever their schemes help me figure out what I want to do.
也是因为具备许多终结手段和阅读防守的技巧，再搭配上本来就善于运用身体接触的特性 ，AR 今年的场均罚球次数以 7.2 次位居联盟第14。AR 也表示自己把制造犯规当作一个清出空间的手段，当对手想要避免犯规，就会往后退，如果不退，就会因此犯规，借此让自己有更多机会切到所想的位置。接着老詹也称赞了 AR 的球风。
I think one of the things that I admire about AR's game too that goes underappreciated too is that his ability to create contact in the paint versus smalls, versus longer wings, and versus bigs. his ability without having to use that arm, use and bump that shoulder.
Beat them to the point of contact, take their legs out or make them hit you.
Yeah.
Very clever.
And it sets up his footwork. His ability to bump here, get you off balance. And now he has the ability to use all the pivots, whatever, pump fake, because now you're off balance, so now you're trying to close the space, so now he can step through and all those. You know, for a guy that you look at, you don't think as strong and think that can create contact, you realize it once he hits you with that damn shoulder and you're sliding back 4 feet.
再来，因为 AR 一直以来都是算是有大心脏的属性，三人聊到了赛季刚开始的时候 ，AR 面对到灰狼的绝杀。
Yeah, I mean, I remember early this year in Minnesota. Yeah, we really dominated that whole second half.
You were playing.
Him and Luka were out
from the TV.
And we dominated the whole second half. We played really well in the third quarter. And then, I mean, think about it, we had a closing lineup that had literally never played minutes together. So they went zone, things started getting tough, and obviously they take the lead by 1. Julius Randle makes a layup. And I remember going to the bench, and I'm sitting on the bench, JJ's drawing up whatever, and we walk out, and there's still probably like 20 seconds on the timer or whatever. And I just remember walking to half court, and I was like, man, we would look like some idiots if we lost this game. And then I just was like, we'll win. And then that happened. And it was just like, just a belief in every moment. Being able to think positive when chaos is going on is something that I've been really good at throughout my whole career, even when I was younger.
除了灰狼的这个绝杀以外，在 AR 菜鸟年的时候，也有一次面对到独行侠的准绝杀。接着三人聊到了这一球。
I remember the Dallas one when I hit the game winner in Dallas my rookie year.
Yeah.
I go to the corner and I would have, if I'm not betting on games, if I would have bet, I would have bet everything in my life.
This is not the year.
I'm not touching the ball. And I'm standing in the corner, and I forgot who it was on their bench was like, you don't want it. And I was like, I'm not going to touch the ball, but if I do, it's going in. Right before it happened. And I still to this day, I'm like, Russ, why did you pass me the ball? But yeah, I mean, just moments like that, like, you gotta accept it. Make or miss.
接着就进入到比赛分析的画面，相对其过往的战术分析，这集是透过画面仔细观察了 AR 的脚步和进攻节奏，我们一起来看看。
This is that game. You guys go in the football formation.
Yep.
A little bit of a misdirection to get in football, and then you kind of run a play that you could just run into the half court.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing was to
catch.
Catch and get Rudy lifted
above the break.
I was surprised that they didn't just read it, but you know, once you get him, you know, he's obviously one of the best defenders in the league, but once you get him moving, laterally, he's not as quick. If he's standing in front of you and you're trying to finish around him in the paint, it's almost impossible. But if you get him, like, I think DA did a really good job here of actually like sprinting into the screen and creating that separation between him and Rudy.
And then getting a little piece of McDaniels too, just so you had that left to right.
Exactly.
So I always say, the way I explain this too is like when McDaniels can't touch you here, now Rudy's isolated.
Yeah.
He's fully, he can't drop with the roller. He's like, I gotta contain. So you split, which now his hips have to change back the opposite, which makes it even harder for him. So now he's recovering. So it's interesting to me, Dante knows this. He's like, now Rudy's in a tough spot here. And so he comes, and so but you read that.
About right there, I was like, I'm going to run him over. I thought I was going to run him over.
He went right leg, right floater, which is
I had to basically stop on it.
Stop on a dime.
But this is the thing, though. You got a defensive player of the year, 7'2", long arms, but you got his momentum going.
Yeah.
He can't stop with
stopping.
you.
Yeah.
And then you go wrong leg, floater, and Dante's an inch and a half, 2 inches too late.
Yeah.
在进入到 podcast 的最后一段之前，我个人真的非常推荐各位可以去找这集来完整听一下，后面其实还谈了几球，非常推荐大家找来看看。podcast 的最后聊到了著名的迷因，我们就把这段当作是今天的结尾。
And then this is probably my biggest highlight.
This is the one.
By the way, I didn't know it. By the way, just letting you know, I have no ideas what clips that we're going to show on the episode until he actually brings them up.
But I would say though, like, there's some great facial expressions.
Oh,
here.
for sure.
First, let's start with Bron.
Can we start? Let's start with why is Bron even in the game right now? It's over.
I must have needed 1 rebound and 1 assist. That had to be it.
So Coach Bron is giving it his John Wooden right here.
Yep.
Telling you what to do.
He was like, okay. At first he was like, okay, yeah. And then whatever I said, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, no, I know what he's thinking now. He just told us. He's going, why the fuck is he in the game talking about this shit right now? What are we doing? You sit your ass down. Funny. We got the job done.
For sure.
And you're still coaching.
Sure.
That's funny.
Still coaching.
That's one of the
some
best
good
clips.
shit.
Yeah.
Amazing clip.
I remember he posted that after the game, and my followers went from like 60,000
I'm
to
sorry.
7 million.
I'm sorry, man. Your phone died fast as hell,
We were in Philly. I was out at eat with Reg, and I picked up my phone and I just set it back down. I was like, I don't even know what's going on.
God damn it, my bad.
好了，那以上就是今天的影片。喜欢这部影片，请记得按赞、订阅及分享给更多人知道。我是怎么John，我们下次再见喽。